Johnny presents himself as someone who works for a youth shelter in Los Angeles. He comes to the beach with a friendly face and a simple offer: warm food and a safe place to sleep. Two runaway teenagers, Piper and Dan, spot him approaching and immediately pull back. They have been on the streets long enough to know that strangers offering help are rarely what they claim to be. Johnny stays calm. He praises Dan for being cautious and takes a bite of the food himself to prove it is not tampered with. Piper relaxes and starts eating. Dan is still not convinced. His biggest fear is that Piper will be handed back to the abusive stepfather they ran away from in the first place. But Johnny keeps talking, and eventually Dan agrees to at least go and see the shelter. They follow him to a white van. The moment they get close, two men named Mike and Ivan grab them from both sides and force them inside. Once the doors are shut, Johnny peels a fake shelter sticker off the side of the van. It was never a shelter. It was never even close. He calls a woman named Melina to tell her they have the teenagers. Melina looks them over and says no, they are too small, too thin for what she has in mind. She is not interested. Across the city, a woman named Catherine returns home from her morning run and calls out for her daughter Emma. She notices Emma wearing a locket with a photograph of her late father inside and asks gently if she is still grieving. Emma says she is trying to move forward. It has been a year. They sit down to breakfast together, and afterward, Catherine drops Emma at the shopping mall to meet her friend Courtney. As she pulls away, she glances back and sees two young men walking toward the girls. Courtney greets one of them, Johnny, and introduces the other, a young man named Adam, to Emma. Later at her workplace, Catherine comes across a missing persons poster of a teenager named Piper. She does not give it much thought. Her boss, Tom, tells her missing teenagers are almost always runaways and asks her to take it down. As she removes it, a woman named Anna stops her. Anna used to work in child welfare and asks why the poster is being pulled. Catherine explains her boss's instructions. Anna tells her Piper was last seen at a nearby beach and urges her to take these cases more seriously. She even suggests Catherine consider volunteering. Catherine declines politely. She needs to pick up Emma. That afternoon, Emma spends time with friends at the beach. Someone offers her a drink and she turns it down, telling them she has an audition coming up and needs to stay focused. Adam watches her with what seems like genuine admiration. Johnny walks beside Courtney nearby. That evening, Emma asks Catherine whether she can go to the cinema with Courtney. Catherine says yes, but asks about the young man she saw at the mall. Emma says it was just Courtney. When Catherine presses further and discovers Adam is considerably older, they argue. Emma says her father would never have made it into a problem. The words land hard. The following morning, Catherine assumes Emma is still in her room. She has already gone out through the window before anyone was awake, heading back to the mall to meet Courtney. Johnny meets them there and tells them Adam is unwell and cannot make it. He offers them a ride. Emma says no and leaves with Courtney. Johnny watches them go and sends a quiet message to someone. Back at home, Catherine finds Emma's window open and realizes immediately that something is wrong. Emma's phone rings out every time she calls. Then Adam appears beside Emma without warning. When she asks why he lied about being sick, he tells her he simply wanted to see her. He buys her a drink, a smoothie, and she accepts it without hesitation. Within minutes, she feels the world tipping sideways. Adam catches her as she loses consciousness and carries her into a nearby building where Mike is already waiting. They load her into the white van. Adam looks uncertain standing there. Mike throws him a roll of money and tells him to keep his mouth shut. The van pulls away toward a warehouse on the outskirts of the city. When Emma opens her eyes, she finds herself locked in a cage. Courtney is already there beside her, along with a group of other frightened girls who have no idea what is coming. Catherine checks Emma's tablet and uses the location tracker linked to her phone to try to find her. At the warehouse, a woman named Melina stands in front of the cage and addresses the girls in a flat, emotionless voice. She tells them their old lives no longer exist. They will not see their families again. If any of them tries to run, she knows exactly where their loved ones live, and she will not hesitate to act on that knowledge. They belong to her now. They will work for her clients. Anyone who refuses will be starved, beaten, or handed over to people far worse than her. The girls sob. Melina asks which of them have never been with a man. Two raise their hands. Emma raises hers slowly. Melina's expression does not change. She tells her men to prepare them for a photo shoot. At the mall, Catherine follows the tracker signal to a back alley and finds Emma's phone discarded in a rubbish bin. Her hands shake as she calls the police. Two detectives, Richmond and Cordoba, arrive and take her statement, but tell her they cannot open a full investigation until 24 hours have passed. They promise to share Emma's details online and leave. Catherine races home, hoping Emma somehow made it back. The house is empty. At the warehouse, the girls are dressed in swimwear, chained together in a line and positioned in front of cameras. Johnny handles the photography. Courtney begs him to let her go. He shoves her aside without looking at her. When she refuses to pose, he calls Ivan over, who drives a fist into her stomach. Emma is brought in front of the camera next. Catherine is going through her bag when she finds the card Anna gave her. She calls her. Anna tells her to come to the office immediately. When Catherine walks in, she stops still. Every wall is covered, floor to ceiling, with photographs and posters of missing children. Anna explains that the police rarely treat these cases with urgency, so organizations like hers step in and do the work themselves. Catherine mentions Adam's name. Anna explains what a Romeo is, a young man trained to charm girls, build their trust, and deliver them to traffickers. They are the first point of contact and the last friendly face these girls will ever see coming. Back at the warehouse, Melina and Johnny move through the rows of sleeping girls. Johnny mentions that Adam is struggling. This was his first time and it is affecting him. Melina tells Johnny that if Adam becomes a problem, it is Johnny who will suffer the consequences. Anna tells Catherine about the hidden online markets where girls are bought and sold like goods. Catherine cannot process what she is hearing. The next morning, the two women go to the mall and hand out Emma's missing posters. The mall's owner, a man named Carl, arrives with a police officer and tells them to stop. Catherine breaks down in front of him, laying out exactly what has happened to her daughter. Anna pushes Carl to check the security camera footage. They review it together and watch Emma collapse after drinking what Adam gave her, then be carried away. Catherine and Anna rush outside and find Adam nearby. Catherine grabs him and demands to know where Emma is. He denies everything until she tells him she has seen the footage. Johnny appears and runs, pulling two girls with him. Adam tries to run too, but stumbles and falls. He reaches for his inhaler, fighting for breath. Catherine holds it just out of his reach and tells him he will get it when he tells her the truth. He gives her a name, Mike's van, and the direction they took Emma. Anna tells her the police are almost there. Catherine tosses him the inhaler. Before he can use it, a shot rings out. Johnny has fired from a distance. Adam falls. With the last air he has, Adam tells Catherine one thing: find Melina. At the warehouse, Melina has already heard that Emma's mother is closing in. She orders Mike to begin moving the operation immediately. Detectives visit Catherine at home, but she tells them she is not waiting for them anymore and sends them away. She and Anna go back online and search for any trace they can find. Mike and Ivan begin loading the girls into the van. Emma works at the ropes, binding her wrists, and almost gets them loose, but she is caught. Catherine finds Courtney's profile on one of the hidden sites. Emma is not listed anywhere. Anna explains quietly that Emma was likely separated from the others and earmarked for a private buyer, someone paying considerably more for exclusivity. Catherine decides she is going in. She will pose as a buyer and arrange to meet Courtney at the location listed. Anna drives her to a heavily guarded motel and tells her one wrong move will get them both killed. On the way inside, Anna shares something she has never told Catherine before. She was forced into this at the age of 14. She knows exactly what these girls are living through because she lived through it herself. Catherine gets inside, finds Courtney in a damaged state, and photographs her discreetly to send to Anna. Courtney tells her through tears that Emma was taken away with a smaller group of girls, separated from the rest. Anna forwards the photograph directly to the detectives. Meanwhile, Melina receives word that Emma's mother has made contact with one of her locations and that the FBI is now involved. She tells Mike to get ready to disappear. Catherine tries to get Courtney out, but Mike intercepts them. He realizes immediately that Catherine is not a buyer. He knocks her unconscious. Anna watches from outside as a white van pulls away from the motel. She follows it. Catherine wakes up tied to a chair. Melina and Mike stand in front of her. Catherine demands to see Emma. Ivan brings Emma in, and for one brief moment, mother and daughter see each other. Then Emma is dragged away again. Catherine offers everything she has, her house, her savings, whatever Melina names. Melina tells her Emma is already sold and the transaction is done. Catherine begs. Melina's face does not move. She says she has lived with this kind of pain her entire life and it means nothing to her anymore. Catherine offers to take Emma's place. Melina is not interested in that either. She only wants to know whether Catherine told the police. Catherine says no. Melina does not believe her. She tells Ivan to go and hurt Emma. Then Melina's phone rings. The buyers have arrived. She tells Mike he can do whatever he wants with Catherine as long as she is still breathing when the night is over. The moment Mike turns his attention toward her, Catherine acts. She plays along just long enough to catch him off guard, gets hold of his weapon, and forces him to take her to where the girls are being held. She hears Emma's voice outside and runs. She finds Melina and raises the gun. Melina grabs Emma and shoves her forward, using her as cover. The gun is knocked loose. Melina raises her own weapon. Emma moves faster. She gets to it first and fires. Melina goes down. Police flood the building. Gunfire breaks out between the officers and Melina's men until the building is secured. Catherine finds Emma in the chaos and pulls her close and holds her. Around them, one by one, the other girls are brought out of the cages and into the open air.